What's up, summoners? King Blair here. Today, we're going to be talking about the recent balance patch that is going to be coming out in 21 days. And y'all, I am hype for this patch. I have 4 out of the 6 heroes that were all being built that I was always working towards, that I am definitely going to be showcasing for you guys. And I am so excited to try these units because the buffs are quite significant for these heroes. And I typically don't post, but I just had to talk about it because, oh man, I'm super hyped. I'm so excited to play the game and do all this cool stuff. But if you do like the video and you're just as hyped as me about the update, make sure you like, subscribe, and join the Discord server so we can keep doing more amazing videos and keep doing more cool stuff. But enough about the channel, enough about me. Let's talk about these units and why I'm so hyped and why I think it's going to be so freaking great, right? I really am excited for these buffs, right? Let me give you guys a quick overview and then we'll go unit by unit and artifact by artifact and see the meta implications. So holistic overview, right? Control got a huge buff, like massive. Cleave got a really nice buff as well. Tank teams got an okay buff, like not really. They didn't really benefit that much from this patch, but it's kind of nice, right? Control and Cleave, very powerful. Tank can definitely use some of these options, and I am all for it. I definitely do think this patch will impact the meta slightly, if not because of one unit, right? And that unit is going to be Cerise. We're going to be talking about Cerise because she's going to be absolutely insane. If y'all didn't know, Cerise is limited, but the fact that they're buffing her makes me feel like she'll be the next limited to get a rerun. So if you don't have her, I wouldn't be too sad. You'll just have to wait maybe an extra month before Cerise banner drops and you're able to pick her up there. Landy was also a limited unit, and this kind of shows that limited units can get buffed in the future, which does mean that you should try to always have one copy of a limited unit because you never know when they may get buffed, right? So for Landy, if you didn't have Landy, it's too late to get Landy, so kind of sucks, and she probably won't get a rerun for a very long time. So hopefully you were able to pull Landy. But alright, as far as to why, so Sage Ball, really nice. Low Queen Charlotte, really nice. This one, insane. This one has potential to be insane, depending on how it works and what people are able to do and what the ratios are, right? Because that's the big one, the ratios. This one's a nice quality of life. If you like Molly, you can actually use her. Pro Horizon is also a nice quality of life buff. You can definitely use her if you like her. She's a lot better, right? But not meta breaking. All eyes on Cerise, Sage, on these five, right? These are the significant buffs, as well as Guiding Light, which is also a limited artifact, which I personally don't have, but hopefully we'll be able to get when Cerise gets a rerun, right? This one is insane. Bastion was a nice little buff. I don't think it does too much. It's nice for Cleave teams that didn't have FCC, right? So if you had an Oxlots, Jugs, Cleave, this is nice for you because now you can actually put this on put a Lilia's or any other knight and be able to protect your Judge Kise. So it's nice. I like it. I don't have to put immunity on my Judge Kise anymore. Does Noctis, kind of cool if you're trying to build a Bruiser Archer, but there's not that many of them. Maybe if you don't have Drink, or maybe if you want to build Bruiser Landy, but Bruiser Landy might not work as well. And then Andrew's Crossbow, not that much. Silver Rain, nice little tweak that I liked. But alright, let's go over it, each of the ones, and give you an overview of why I'm so excited about each of them. So Sage Bonds is on, y'all. This one, I am so glad I have him now. He looks amazing. He looks really scary for control and for tank team. So this is kind of like the tank team buff a little bit, because he can definitely fit in a tank team and give that tank team a bit of control, right? But for control teams, also very solid. He still loses to a Tywin. He still loses to Fallen Cecilia. So just remember that. He still has his old counters and still loses to like F Maya and all those units, right? The typical control losing units. But why? So first, S1. This one, really nice quality of life change. So one thing that other people have mentioned, including Shuffles, who's a very good player, and I highly recommend you watch his stats as well, since he's one of the best RTA players. What's nice is now you get something for landing the sleep. This skill is not that reliable. It's only at a 75% chance, right? When you pair this with a 15% chance that you innately have to resist a buff, you're not landing this skill that often. But now, when you do, it gives you so much cycling ability, because now you're able to get 20%, and this guy can cycle a lot, and that S3 looks scary as heck with this cycling ability. Since he's able to cycle, he'll be able to get that S3 cooldown off quicker, and we'll talk about it in a second. The S2, again, nice quality of life change. Sage Ball struggled with consistency, right? Bumping this up to 85%, adds that extra consistency that it could land a critical sleep when you really, really need him to land. This buff is on a pretty low cooldown and also pushes his combat readiness by 20% at the end of the caster's turn, right? So if you choose not to S2, you're getting 20% every time an enemy gets the turn, and if you hit, that's another 20%. You can be lapping a lot. So there's some strategy there with whether or not you want to use his S2 to sleep the enemy, or if you want to hold off on it to be able to cycle more the S3, right? So most likely when you start, you will do S2 and then S1, and then after your S3, you may not want to actually use your S2 and just cycle with S1. So why do I keep talking about this S3? What I think is so crazy. Yo, they basically made him like Cross / Emo Haste. They like combined the two in a weird kind of way. So they added a weird Akali passive that if he kills, it's a silence for the full team. I've done it with Akali. It's nice. It's not game changing. It's just nice, right? It doesn't really do much. It's just, that's cool, right? You can kill and get some silences. You know, it's nice. Maybe you can land a silence in a row if you have a high effectiveness one, right? But the big one is it penetrates defense and cannot trigger critical hit. Why is this a big deal? If you start thinking units that this kind of is like, it's similar to Crow. It's similar to Emo Haste. We still have to see the ratios, but if this is anything like Emo Haste or Crow, and you use it as an execute tool, kind of like Crow and Emo Haste, Sage Ball can be bonkers. So it does damage based on your missing health. But the other thing is you realize, if you kill the enemy, you recover max health. Y'all, tank Sage Ball is going to be a thing. Like 20k plus, 1.5k defense, 240 speed, and effectiveness whether you want it or not, right? That's up to you. With this skill, this is a 4-turn cooldown skill. This skill, again, 4-turn cooldown. If you kill with this, you get back full health, which lets you set up into your other S2, and when he's about to die again, you S3 again. He has potential to be a soloist now, which is so weird for me to say that. Sage Ball actually is looking really, really scary and really, really fun. A really, really solid option. And the fact that he can strip and sleep is really, really powerful in that S2. And the fact that he can cycle to his S3 quicker, again, really, really good. This is what I said in late game. You may want to hold off on your S2 and just S1 the opponent to get that extra 20%, and then every time they get a turn, get that extra 20% to cycle your S3 quicker, right? So I think it's really cool. I think tanky Sage Ball is going to be so, so scary, and I am so excited to build him, and I will definitely be showcasing him, so make sure you're subscribed to watch when that happens. Now, Little Queen Charlotte is another big one, right? We talked about it in stream yesterday, how I felt she's good, but very hard to build, right? And people don't realize how strong she is because she's that hard to build. Most people can't unlock her full potential, right? So that was one of the big problems she had. Now, a lot of this is really, really nice. She already did a lot of damage on the S1. This is doing more damage now. Damage increases and boosters is always nice, right? You're just doing more damage. You're doing your job better. The one that I think is very unique is going to be the S3 change. So when the target is a Dark Elemental hero, increases damage dealt and inflicts additional damage to all enemies except for the target, proportionate to the caster's attack. This essentially is Uberius Tooth, but AoE. It still doesn't let you one-shot Rylet, right? So that's something I want you guys to realize. You can't S3 Rylet and expect to kill him, right? That's not a thing still, right? Because this does not do it on the target. But this does mean against units like a Cici, a Ravi, or any other dark unit that they may have, if you use it on that unit, or any dark hero, even on a Rylet. Let's say you try to go for Rylet, do a lot of poke damage on that Rylet. That splash damage can hit all the enemies. It's an Uberius AoE. That's like it's probably gonna be like 4 or 5k. It's like a drink proc almost. It's gonna be, I don't know how much it's gonna be. I don't know how the ratios, but if it's like 3k, it still applies pressure. Right, so it's a really, really, really nice change. It gives her AoE, which is really weird, and really punishes the opponent for bringing dark heroes, which are very popular. So she's going to be a really good option against dark units. Nothing meta breaking, but she's definitely really strong now. I am really excited about this because there's a lot of dark units that are meta. So with this, you're actually able to do some splash damage and could even get some kills. T-Surin might actually have to start being like tankier, because if this does enough damage, you could actually put T-Surns in a bad spot with this. So pretty nice, pretty nice. Now, Oh boy, Cerise. This unit is going to change the meta. 100%. You may be wondering why. You may not know why, but I'm gonna go over it with you so you guys start to realize how crazy Cerise is. So if you didn't know this, good Cerises are typically around 290 speed to 300 speed. So just remember that. 290 to 300 speed. When her S3 is on cooldown, she gets Lilius's S1. You guys know Lilius, right? Really solid knight. Does a lot with the S1. Probably known to be one of the best S1s in the game. Add that S1 on a unit that is 300 speed. That's insane for cleave. That's insane for control. Think about if she comes in with a dual attack on a control team with a Dizzy. Or if you're in a control team, she comes in with a Spectre Tenebria. Or she comes in with a Broman. And Broman just S2s. Or she comes in with like all these, like with a Tenebria. You S1, she comes in with Tenebria, and because she's so fast, you're able to dual attack so often that your characters that may not normally be as fast are getting insane amount of turns. Or like even 8 Tywin, dude. With 8 Tywin, you just get soul steals for free and a provoke for free. And she's so freaking fast, and she gets combat readiness from this. So 15% combat readiness on a unit that is 300 speed, around like 290 to 300 speed. You are going to be taking so many turns and dual attacking so often that it's so much for the opponent to actually deal with, right? Then there is the S2. This one is kind of like whatever. It's nice. It makes it a really good Kayron counter. This literally is just like a slap in the face to Kayron users. And I'm not looking forward to this one because you guys know I use Kayron. This kills Kayron. Why does it kill Kayron? When she does S3, she's able to remove immunity from Kayron. She does S2 and now can actually land unbuffable and a stun. So Kayron's a sitting duck. You hit him. He doesn't get his buff. You either just kill him straight up or he just doesn't get the buff, right? So two ways that you can actually just stop Kayron from doing anything, right? So huge counter to Kayron. Huge counter to Ravi as well. Because you can't give her attack buff. You can't do a lot of stuff. And with the restrict, Cerise is really good against Ravi. And we'll talk about that in a second. Then there is the S3. So why is it so... Like the damage is whatever. She wasn't doing that much damage. But the thing that makes it really, really strong is the advantageous element. Why? You can't pick Earth against Cerise anymore. You cannot pick Earth units to stop Cerise anymore. What this means is for cleave teams, you can actually go Athletica Cerise now. Because if you do Athletica Cerise and Cdom, and they don't and they ban Athletica, you can still do Cerise to push up your Cdom. And the thing about it is she's so fast that she gets invincibility, so they can't touch her. So attack all enemies, decrease buff duration, give them decreased speed, and you'll easily be able to lap them and apply more pressure with the S2 and the S1. So cleave teams got a massive buff with this because it allows them to bring it with Cdom. She's going to be a really good Cdom pusher. And the thing about it is, General Purgus against Athletica used to be pretty popular. If they bring a Cerise, it forces you to have to ban the Cerise because your General Purgus is useless because of Restrict. So Restrict is forcing your General Purgus to not be that great, right? Because Restrict makes it so you can't get that push-up. The other thing that this is insane is against cleave teams. Because now they can't bring Bazaar cleave teams. They can't bring any type of cleave team against you. Why? You're just stopping them from getting. Restrict is such a powerful debuff. And the fact that you always hit now is so insane. People were using Oath Key on their Cerises just to hit Earth Heroes. And now she does that for free. That's insane, y'all. That is so powerful. And then pair with the artifact that we'll get in a second. So why do I think this is so powerful? Cerise counters cleave teams because she has one of the highest base speeds in the game. She can easily counter cleave teams. She also counters control teams because it just slows them down. It doesn't let you move that much. Also counters tank teams because you can just strip their buffs over time. Just strip it and stun them. Right, so remove immunity and then set up an S2 or even just do S2 early in the fight and then S3, right? So that's one of the strategies people do too. It's S2 in the beginning of the fight, stun a priority target, potentially lap their knights and then come in and do this with S3. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. And you'll always be hitting, oh man. You're always hitting with S3. Oh, that's the S2's over here. So really good counter, really fast. It's going to become a staple. Cerise will become a staple. And we haven't even talked about the artifact that's going to make her even better. Because if you pair her up with Guiding Light, she's basically unkillable. because she gets invincibility with the S3, and Guiding Light will make her stealthed, which forces you to bring AoE to try to deal with her. And if they bring someone like an FCZ and an Emerald Crawl, you're not touching their Cerise, right? So huge buff for all teams. It's going to be a meta unit. She's going to be a meta unit. Then you have Landy. So a lot of people are skeptical on Landy. Why? Because Landy still has the same issues that she did before. What were the same issues that she had before? She doesn't have survivability, right? So that's one of the things that she still does have, but the damage could be pretty significant. So let's go over it. This one is really, really nice. This one, the effect was already doubled, right? But the amount of fighting spirit is double when the enemy is buffed. This one's nice because it makes it so she gets 30% fighting spirit, which lets her ramp up quicker, right? Lets you get to the S3 quicker. So that's nice. And also the damage being increased. Dude, this skill already did a lot of damage. Like, I remember when I was using Landy, I was like, wow, this S1 actually does considerable damage. It was doing like 5k on tanks, on like bruisers. When I was running like my damage bruiser Landy, right? She was actually doing pretty significant damage. And the fact that they're increasing that is pretty nice. Then the S2 will allow her, not only can she go up to 60% now, right? So she gets an extra 10%, but she's ramping up way faster. Landy can actually ramp up way faster to her max potential, and their max potential, 60% extra attack, that's nuts. That is nuts. That's a lot of extra attack that she's getting. So it's gonna be like this. So whether you build speed Landy or counter Landy, she's reaching max potential in seconds, right? So she's gonna be getting those big stacks very quickly. Then the ultimate. So there's a lot to unpack here, and a lot of people have been misreading this, right? But you can actually do the calculations if you think of it properly. So first off, the one that everyone read right, all allies get increased speed. All allies get increased speed. Nice. Nice. That's really nice. The fact that all allies get increased speed makes it so it's really scary, actually. I see potentially her being in control, or slash like some fast aggro, because you're able to give everyone speed buff and you're able to push them up by 15%. The thing about it is that fires at all enemies grants allies increased speed for 2 turns before increasing their combat readiness by 15%. This was taken away from max stacks. So she just straight up gives 15% now, which means you do not have to have her at max stacks, which is why cleave teams and control teams can actually make use of her S3, because even if you don't have the buffs to put her up at max stacks, you're able to get that increased speed and that 15% combat readiness whether or not you have max stacks. So that's amazing, right? Then the other part, for the fighting spirit, she now penetrates defense by 50%. This is scary. So she does lose the increased damage dealt, and that's something that you guys have to realize. She is losing that increased damage dealt, so overall her damage is definitely higher, but it's not as insane as some people are making it out to be, right? So her damage is definitely going to be higher. 50% is a lot of freaking defense that you're penetrating. That's a lot of defense. I've lapped it out, and it could be really spicy, right? I've been doing some numbers. I've been crunching. I might do it once it gets closer, maybe on a stream or something. I'll crunch the numbers with you guys. But overall, it is considerably more damage, and it makes Clevelandy actually a possibility against FCC teams, right? She actually has potential against FCC teams, but she does lose that extra damage at max stacks, and instead trades it for a defense penetration, which is easily better, right? Increased damage, 50% defense penetration. I'm pretty sure that defense penetration is way better, right? It just makes sense. So her damage will be a lot higher. The other thing they added is grants an extra turn. This is why I think she can actually cleave against FCC teams, is because now you can technically kill Arbiter Vildreds with this. This Soul Burn paired up with her S1 makes it so she can actually kill Arbiter Vildreds. Because now you can do S3, kill Arbiter Vildred off of the S3, and then kill him again with the S1. Could be really scary and could be a really interesting counter to cleave teams. So I'm pretty hype about that one. That one I'm actually pretty hype about. So overall, it depends on how much she actually does. She still has weaknesses, right? She's still going to be dying. But you can actually build her tanky now because of how fast she ramps up and how much she gets. And with the artifact, it's why I think Landy's going to be really, really good. So as of right now, pretty solid, right? So it's looking good. I'm definitely going to be finishing mine off and building it for you guys and showing you guys how I built her and how I use her. And we'll try different builds. We'll try speed. We'll try counter. We'll try all of them and see which one we enjoy the most. But definitely really, really interesting. Then there is Maya. Honestly, y'all, she's just basically a mini FCC. This one's nice. You know, you have a higher chance to stun, and now you decrease combat readiness. Okay, that's kind of cool. This one's also pretty cool. Has a higher chance to provoke. It's not 100 though. The decrease attack is nice though. But again, it's like there's better knights out there. So overall, there's just better knights out there. Honestly, I hate to be like negative about it, but it's like she doesn't strip. Immunity kind of destroys this. FCC or not FCC. Regular Cecilia does this. And it has a 100% chance to provoke. Granted, she has to give herself increased defense, but regular it's kind of like a mini CC. She's definitely usable now, right? She's not bad. She's actually usable. So if you really like Maya, you can definitely use her now. She's actually a decent unit. I don't think she'll be meta, but I definitely think she's decent. Then Dollmaker. It's not crazy, but it's nice quality of life change. This is nice because I think she already pushed herself up with S2, right? Through her tree. She was already getting combat readiness from her S2. Now, if you get a full team sleep, you're able to cycle and set up into an S3. So it makes more sense. They just made her role easier and less like RNG based, right? Still RNG though, because you have to land the sleeves, which is not 100%. I think it goes up to like 80 or something. It's pretty high up there. You'll still probably be getting 20 to 30% every time. This one is cool. You can get the guaranteed stun now if you really want it, which is nice because there's times you really want to land the stun. But again, nothing crazy. Nothing crazy for her. She's gonna be much better, right? And this one is kind of nice as well. 80% is nice because if you apply that decreased speed, it's pretty nice. So all in all, I think it's interesting. I think it'll definitely make her be more an option. So she usually just got sidetracked by Tenebria, right? Because Tenebria does sleep and does decrease defense. Dollmaker Pro Horizon didn't do that. So now they kind of gave her like a little bit of like more versatility. So I definitely see her becoming a better option, right? But this is why okay. So now why do I think Landy and Cerise is going to be so good? This buff is insane. The fact that at the start of the battle you start with stealth is nuts for cleave and for control. Yo, F Litica with guiding light. You can't touch it with Assassin Sid anymore. F Litica with guiding light, you can't Assassin Sid her. You can't Akali her. You have to bring an AoE. Yes, there is Cerise. So Cerise kind of mitigates this. But Cerise also benefits from this because now Cerise, even if you don't get the outspeed, they may not be able to hit you, and because you're getting stealth all like continuously, right? You have a chance to get stealth continuously with Cerise because she takes so many turns. It makes it almost impossible for the opponent to actually hit Cerise unless he brings enough AoE to actually reach Cerise. And Cerise, with the S1, she's going to be running circles around you, dual attacking with everyone, stunning your team, decreasing your speed, and you can't touch her. You're just going to die to, like, you're just going to control down. Champ C is looking really, really, really good. The more I look at these buffs, Champ C is looking really good. So massive buff for Cerise, massive buff for F Litica, and then for Landy, it allows you to build your Landy more damage, and then pair her up with units like Emerald Crawl and Fallen Cecilia or like Ruella Light, and then allow you to set up your Landy easier and force them to take AoE. But that could be really dangerous because there's so many good anti-AoE units right now, right? So this is a huge buff to archers. Archers didn't have that many OP artifacts. Now they do. This is probably, and again, all of them are limited, right? So this is limited, sadly. Hopefully they rerun Cerise so I can actually get this artifact. And then, of course, we still got things like Bastion. Nothing crazy. It's nice. I talked about it before. It's nice for Judge Kisei. This one again is cool for like maybe a Brewster Landy. If you're trying to do a Brewster Landy to do more attack, have extra scaling, have an extra 32 attack. That's almost 100% attack increase. If you pair this up with Landy's passive, that's like 90%, 92% attack increase. It's cool. It's not OP. It's just cool. It's nice. You know, it's cool. This one, it's like honestly, I don't think anyone's still using this one at all. I don't think it's good enough to use it. And then, of course, this one. So this one is kind of nice because the only place I actually see this is Rusid. Rusid Sid are actually pretty good together because Rusid gives you a speed imprint. And if you put this on Rusid, it makes it so you don't have to rely on Singelica. You can just use Rusid and Sid and then go from there, right? So it opens up an avenue for more opportunities, especially with Judith as well. So also really good for Judith and Rusid. Kind of a free-to-play buff. It's nice, right? If you're trying to play Cleaves and you don't have Oxlots, this is pretty nice, right? It's kind of like a nice little buff for your team. But yeah, all in all, dude, Cerise is looking kind of busted. Like, this is... She did not need this, y'all. She's looking omega broken. She will definitely be a top contender in the meta. Landy will have to see the ratios. Little Queen Charlotte looks like a really good counter to Dark Teams and Fallen Cecilia's. Sage Ball, potential to be really scary as well as a last pick option. He still loses to A Tywin, still loses to Fallen Cecilia, but pretty solid option, right? And also depends on how strong the skill 3 is. So if the skill 3 is still doo-doo, she's going to be doo-doo. And then the Guiding Light one is insane. I'm pretty sure that they're going to have to rerun Cerise or people are going to get so upset. So I'll probably rerun Cerise. But yeah, I have Cerise, I have Sage Ball, I got Landy, and I got Dollmaker. You know we're going to be building them. So make sure you subscribe if you're into the video. And if you made it all the way to the end, make sure you click that subscribe button. It really does help a lot. And you also will be able to be notified when I post more videos, especially when these guys get buffs. I really need to start building these guys because I am so excited to try all the different teams that I can do with them. But that is all I have for you guys today. And I will see y'all next time. Peace.